Time now for some business news, and Stephen Carroll is with me here on set. And Stephen, we're starting in Australia, where the country's record run of economic growth has come to an end.
That's right. It's been nearly 30 years since Australia was last in recession, but the coronavirus pandemic has hit the economy there, like everywhere else, hard. Economic output slumped by a record 7% in Australia between April and June, although average household incomes were protected by government measures. Catherine Viette has the details.
The end of an era for Australia as it loses its nickname as the lucky country after tumbling into a record recession.
Our record run of 28 consecutive years of economic growth has now officially come to an end. The cause? A once-in-a-century pandemic. The effect? A COVID-19 induced recession.
Australia's output plunged 7% between April and June, due mainly to a drop in consumer spending that fell by 12% over the same period. More than 1 million people have lost their jobs, but the effects have been mitigated somewhat by the Australian government's stimulus measures. Nearly 29 billion euros has been funneled to businesses and individuals, most through a program called JobKeeper that's helped support the wages of workers over those 3 months. But with Victoria State back under lockdown, the long-term effects are hard to gauge.
If they don't announce significant changes in the October budget, and that remains to be seen, there will be a big pullback in terms of government support. So that's another danger zone for the economy, that final 3 months of the year.
Still, thanks to strong exports of raw materials to China and a shorter initial lockdown period, Australia's economy has fared better than that of many other countries. France's growth plunged by nearly 14%, while the world's biggest economy, the U.S., shrank by 9.5%. And Australia's finance minister remains optimistic, saying there is hope and a road out.
In the United States, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, has warned that serious differences remain between Republicans and Democrats over a new round of economic stimulus. Pelosi spoke with Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin on Tuesday as the two sides try to bridge a gap of $1 trillion between their different proposals. The packages include money for small businesses, state and local governments, schools and healthcare to help them deal with the effects of the pandemic. No talks have taken place on this issue since August. Democrats initially wanted the stimulus to total $3 trillion, but have since reduced that to $2.2 trillion. That's still too much, though, for Steven Mnuchin.
I do not support $2.2 trillion, but what's more important is what is the breakdown in getting money to American workers, American families, kids, where we can agree on money. There is tremendous areas of agreement, and that's what we should be doing right away.
It's one of the most political tech deals of recent years, but talks over the sale of TikTok's US business have reportedly run into some complications. The Wall Street Journal says negotiations have stalled over the issue of whether the video app's core algorithm is to be included as part of the deal. New Chinese government restrictions on exporting technology would mean that TikTok's Chinese owners may need a license to sell the algorithm to a foreign company. The White House has ordered that the US arm of TikTok be sold by September 20th or risk being blocked. Consumer goods giant Unilever has announced it will eliminate fossil fuels from its cleaning products by 2030. That includes brands like Domestos and Cif. The company is investing €1 billion in the plan to cut carbon emissions created by the chemicals used in those products. The move comes as the Anglo-Dutch firm is facing increasing demand for these brands because of the coronavirus pandemic. Let's take a quick look at what's happening on the markets next for you. Lots of optimism around among investors in Europe today. Big jumps in share markets in Paris and in Frankfurt. The CAC 40 and the Frankfurt DAX both up over 2% a short time ago. That's on optimism in recent economic data that a recovery is on the way. On the currency markets, the euro taking a breather after its recent gains. A euro trading for just under $1.19 and almost 89 pence sterling. Finally for me, Tuesday was a particularly good day for investors in the video calling app Zoom. The company's shares skyrocketed by 40% after their bumper results thanks to a rush of new customers. That jump added $37 billion to its market value, roughly the equivalent of the whole value of eBay. That's in just one day. Part of the bounce was down to the fact that people didn't drop their subscriptions as lockdown measures were eased in parts of the world. Investors reassured that Zoom calls, Thomas, are going to remain part of our lives for some time at least. OK, Stephen Carroll, our business editor, thank you very much. And that's all from us for now, but do stay tuned. There's more world news coming up for you after this quick break.